Today, in this ultimate course for DeepSeek, I'm going to show you exactly how to use it, how to make money with it, how to automate things, how to build AI agents, even how to build agents that can control your browser. We're going to start off with the basics, and then this is just going to get more and more advanced. You'll see all the crazy stuff that you can do with this. And this is basically my ultimate training that shows you everything you need to know about DeepSeek. So with that, let's get straight into it. We're going to click on Start Now on DeepSeek.com. And then once you're here, you get a choice between DeepSeek version 3 and DeepSeek R1. Now, these are two totally different models. DeepSeek version 3 is great for getting quick answers like ChatGPT 4.0. And then you have DeepSeek R1, which is very similar to, for example, ChatGPT 0.1 or ChatGPT 0.3, aka it can think, it can reason. It's very good with logic, but it does take a little longer to respond to you. So, for example, if we say now inside the chat, what model are you? This is going to come back to us with all the details, right? So it said, I'm DeepSeek version 3. And if we want to use DeepSeek R1, we can just go there. Now, you can basically do anything you can imagine inside this AI that you'd need help for, right? So any sort of human assistant that you would typically ask for questions, you can now ask DeepSeek R1 or DeepSeek version 3. So, for example, we say inside the chat here, how many R's are in strawberry? It's going to come back to us with an answer, as you can see. Now, if we say to it, okay, animation of falling letters with realistic physics, like you can see, you can actually build like animations, you can create websites, you can create tools, you can create apps using this process. So, for example, if we go in here, it's now coding this out. And what we'll actually do in another window is I'll show you and compare how DeepSeek version 3 differs to DeepSeek R1. So if we toggle deep on a new window here, we can say animation of fallen letters with realistic physics in HTML. So exactly the same prompt, right? You can see the difference. So for example, when you're using DeepSeek R1, it's going to take longer to respond. It's going to think things through. It's going to apply more logic before diving into that response. Whereas DeepSeek version 3 will just get straight back to you with the details, how it works, etc. Now, if we click on run HTML here, you can see the output. So we've got the blocks dropping through, but it's not coded it properly, right? So these are not actually letters. And that's the beauty of DeepSeek R1. We'll wait for this to come back to us and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. So now you can see that the R1 model has come back to us and you can see how it plans everything up before diving straight in and trying to create something. So once it's logically thought through the whole process, then it's generating the HTML. And if we click on run HTML, so we actually get something that's 10 times better than what from DeepSeek version 3, right? And that just illustrates the power of how good this tool is. Like if you need something more complex, if you need something, for example, like you're building a website or you're building a tool or you need to create an app, then DeepSeek R1 is much, much better at that. Now, just to put that in perspective, not only is this free, but it's also often creating better outputs than something like ChatGPT's latest model, ChatGPT 0.3 mini. So this just came out a few days ago. And if we use exactly the same prompt inside ChatGPT 0.3 mini, it will reply faster. And bear in mind, this is a paid model and DeepSeek R1 is a free model. And also you can get a free API from DeepSeek R1 and host it locally, whereas with ChatGPT, you can't host it locally and you cannot get a free API. So if we grab the HTML code, and by the way, if you want that free API for building stuff, I'll show you that in a minute. That'll come later in this video. So if we take that code from ChatGPT, like you can see right here, it's pretty average, right? Like it doesn't look anywhere near as good as the output from DeepSeek R1. And not only that, we can't even preview it inside the chat because ChatGPT 0.3 mini doesn't have an option to preview HTML inside the chat. So you have to host it on a different website, like you can see. Now, also, if we compare these side by side, so we have the code from ChatGPT over here, and we have the code from DeepSeek R1 over here. And we'll run the HTML and we'll compare which one looks better and what the differences are. Right. So if we hit refresh on LiveWeave and we just test it out, it's just a few letters, right? And the animation doesn't run continuously. It's not as interesting to look at. And also the letters don't bounce as realistically. And that just really highlights like the power of DeepSeek R1, how powerful it is when you're using this model and what sort of outputs you can get back. Now, what's also pretty wild about this, and I'll put the instructions to set it up inside the AI Profit Boardroom, inside the SOP section here. So you can get those inside the DeepSeek full course section. But basically, you can install Bolt locally. Let me show you exactly how that works. And once you followed those instructions, you can actually access a free app, website, builder, etc. As you can see right here, where you can code anything you want using the power of DeepSeek R1. So for example, if we go to Grok over here, then we're going to select DeepSeek R1. And if you want a free API from Grok, you can just go to dev console keys and grab a free API key directly there. And then once you've done that, you can basically code anything you want. So if we just say, for example, okay, create a basic to-do list app, it's going to code that out like lightning fast. Look how fast that is, right? It's actually much faster than DeepSeek R1, and it doesn't cost a penny to actually use this because it's using Grok's free API. We can also use, for example, OpenRouter, and inside OpenRouter, they have a DeepSeek R1 available, and you can actually get a free version of DeepSeek R1's API. Like you can see, if we say, okay, build a to-do list app, this one's going to take a bit longer to come back to us because it's using a more powerful version of the API. It's not using the distilled version. So using Grok as well, you can build out websites. So for example, here we've said, build a simple landing page website for an SEO agency. And we can also use OpenRouter. OpenRouter have a free API. I'll show you later in the video how to get an API for them. And if we say, okay, create a simple landing page website for my SEO agency, is going to generate that for us. The other thing you can do is you can switch between DeepSeek R1 and DeepSeek version 3. And then also inside OpenRouter, obviously these are more paid models, but you can use, for example, like Claude 2.0. And just to be clear here, DeepSeek R1 is free inside the API here. So you can see it's free. And then DeepSeek version 3, you are paying for it, but it's very cheap. The other method that you can use is you can actually go over to DeepSeek here, and then you can select between chat, coder, and reason. Reasoner obviously being R1, and then chat, we can use DeepSeek version 3. So if we say to it now, okay, build out an SEO website, it's going to start building it out now. And if we go back to the landing page we created before, so this is a landing page for the SEO agency using DeepSeek version 3, we can see the website right here. And if we open this up, website's good to go. Obviously, you can go back and forth with it. That's a super basic, simple example, but you get the idea. Like you can use this to build apps, tools, websites, etc. On OpenRouter as well, you can get free APIs, for example, like Gemini Flash Thinking. And then you can say, for example, I don't know, create a keyboard app, right? Whatever you want to build. And you have the app ready to go, like you can see right here. So super simple and powerful. That is a free API. That was using Gemini Flash, but I've shown you how you can use Grok, OpenRouter. There's many different ways to build anything you want, whether it's an app, website, or tool, using bold and then the API so you can plug in. And if you want to edit your API key, just click on the edit sign like this, and you can plug in the relevant one, right? So for example, if you go to Grok, you got the API key, just plug it in this section right here. Now, that is just one of many ways to leverage DeepSeek. We've already talked about the chat, we've already talked about Bolt, how to build apps, websites, tools, etc. Now, there's so much to get through in this course. Make sure you keep watching. Let's jump straight into it. DeepSeek R1 versus Qwen 2.5 Max, which is the new version just released from Alibaba this week, versus ChatGPT 4. I'm going to see which is the best model. Now, so the first test that we're going to go with is we're going to make sure we have DeepSeek R1, and we're going to compare how each performs when we say build a snake game in HTML. So we're going to hit enter like so. We're going to do the same over here and select artifacts, which is their feature for building tools. And then we're going to do this inside ChatGPT O1 Mini. Now, R1 is probably the slowest model by far from what I've seen. Now, in terms of speed, ChatGPT O1 is absolutely flying through. It's already created the output. DeepSeek R is still coding out. Let's have a look at Qwen. Qwen is just loading the artifact right here, but it's not come up yet. If you want something fast, ChatGPT is already winning. Now let's preview the outputs. We're going to click on edit over here, and then we're going to click on preview, and we can actually preview the code inside ChatGPT. Now, if we look at this game, not very good. Now, if you actually look at this game, we actually can't play it. I can't move around, I can't direct anything, and there's not much of a snake. Not a great start. Let's test DeepSeek R1. So we're going to click on run HTML, we'll see what we get back. We'll click on start game. And that just put game over straight away. And now inside Qwen 2.5, it's actually working. Look at that. Oh, perfect. So in terms of outputs, Qwen 2.5 Max, even though it's not a logic game, is still smashing it. Wow. Bear in mind, ChatGPT O1 and DeepSeek R1 are supposed to be reasoning models, so they're supposed to think these things out and supposed to be better for logic. But Qwen 2.5 Max is absolutely smashing it. Look at that. Perfect. Much better than what we got back here. That's blowing me away, honestly. Next up, what we're going to be testing is web search feature. So obviously this is very powerful for doing research, finding the latest news, connecting the AI to the internet, because otherwise without that, most of these models are very outdated. They're only trained up to a certain amount of data. So using the web search feature, we can actually get information in real time. So what I'm going to say today is what happened in today's AI headlines, right? And we'll give that prompt to Qwen 2.5 Max, Then we're going to test the same thing inside DeepSeek. Let's start a new chat here. Here we go. And make sure we have search selected. And then we're also going to do the same inside ChatGPT. However, look at that. It's blurred out. We cannot use the search inside ChatGPT. Now, bear in mind, this is a paid tool. I am paying for ChatGPT 01 for the privilege of using this model. But I can only use the search feature inside ChatGPT 4.0. It is not available inside the chat here. So DeepSeek has come back to us. DeepSeek search service is busy. Please disable search or try again later, right? So that completely failed. ChatGPT 01 doesn't even give him the option, and then Qwen 2.5 Max has absolutely smashed it. Look at this, and we've got a bunch of ideas right here, and you can see this is pretty up to date. So for example, daily update January the 30th 2025, which is today. We've got the news headlines. So Qwen 2.5 Max didn't just work, which by default means it wins, but also it found us the latest headlines, and therefore we are smashing it. So you got to bear in mind here, logic and reasoning model failed both tests. Logic and reasoning model, failed both tests. Qwen 2.5 Max, not a reasoning model, not a logic model, but absolutely smashed both of these and is available for free. Next up, what we're going to be testing is DeepSeek's image generation versus Qwen 2.5's versus ChatGPT 01's image generation. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to click on image generation inside Qwen 2.5 Max. We're going to put cat eating a banana, all right? And that's the same prompt that ChatGPT is going to get. So we'll put image of cat eating banana. And we'll do the same inside this multimodal model from DeepSeek, which is hosted on Hugging Face because it is too powerful to host locally for me. So we'll keep the other options default. We'll hit generate image. And that is generated now. As you can see, the black line is going up. So Qwen 2.5 Max has actually failed on us. Look at that. Error. We'll give it another go, but I don't think that's going to work at all. Let's see what we get back. It is generating the image, but it did fail the first test. Now, ChatGPT 01 cannot generate images, so we're going to switch this to GPT 4.0 as well, just to make this a fair test. All right, so we'll wait for that to load. And then we have the image back from Janus, and it did everything first time round, so no messing around there. And if we open this up, that is a cat eating a banana. I mean, it's absolutely smashing that banana, to be fair. Let's have a look through the other images. He's having a great time there. This one is getting his teeth right stuck in. The only thing that I don't like about these images is the images are very pixelated. It's not quality, is it? It's not quality image. And it's not very convincing either. If we go over to Qwen 2.5 Max, that's had a better go at it. To be fair, that does seem realistic. I think that could fool a lot of people if you didn't know it was AI. And if we go inside ChatGPT 4.0, I don't like this at all. I wouldn't use that on my content because it's just so cartoonish. I'm sure you can ask it to generate a different style. So we could say like, make it to graphic, but you're going to have to do that every single time, right? So out of all of these, if I had to put them in order, I'm going to say Qwen 2.5 Max smashed it. Janus Pro 7B from DeepSeek AI, I've actually got another video on this if you want to check out, has come in second. And then even when we ask it to come up with something more like photo style, it's still not quite right? It still doesn't feel realistic. Little pro tip for you here actually, if you really want to get good outputs for images, I would recommend Grok. It's pretty fast and it gives you 4 different options at the same time. That's the other drawback from Qwen 2.5 Max, which is that you just get one image. Same with ChatGPT, whereas with Janus Pro 7B, you get 5 different images to choose from, even if you wouldn't choose any. But you can see the images from Grok here, and aside from the banana floating in the air, I would say that Grok would win that any day of the week, right? And Grok is using Flux, as far as I'm aware, for generating those AI images. Super impressive stuff. So what we're going to do now is we're going to test inside the new chat. We're going to go to video generation here. And this is one I prepared earlier because it takes so long for Qwen 2.5 Max to generate videos. So just bear in mind, like, it did take about 20 minutes or 30 minutes to generate this. But we basically use the prompt cat eating biscuitinos. And here's what we got back. Multiple cats eating biscuits. That's what a time to be alive. You can automate all of this with AI. What a time to be alive. Inside DeepSeek, you can't generate videos, so it's not really comparable. But we can use Sora inside ChatGPT if you're on the $200 per month plan. Now, bear in mind, Qwen 2.5 Max is free. DeepSeek R1 is free. If you want to generate images, you have to be on the ChatGPT Pro plan, and that costs $200 a month, aka $2,400 per year. That is the price I pay to entertain you folks at home. Now Sora is a pretty cool platform, to be fair. Like, you can see, you get loads of different you get loads of different videos. You can see what people are creating in real time. Like, that does beat Qwen 2.5 Max. But if we go over to here, we're just gonna go for like a quick 5-second video. We'll plug that in, cat eating biscottinos. Let's see what we get back. And it's taking its sweet time, so we might come back to that in a second. The final thing that I want to compare between all these models is whether you can use them locally, right? So here's the thing that you should also know about, and it's super important to get this, right? By the way, we just got this video back, so let me cover this first, and then we'll come back to that. So we got cat eating biscottinos. Honestly, that's probably the most realistic video out of all of them. I would say that wins by a long way. And it's given us 4 different options. So it is superior to Qwen 2.5 Max. I can see why it costs a lot more money. I probably wouldn't use this as B-roll, but it's impressive. It's impressive. And bear in mind, like, we just generated that at 480p. You can generate it in higher resolutions, which means that the videos will look better. So out of all of them, OpenAI's Sora wins, then Qwen 2.5 Max, and obviously DeepSeek cannot generate videos. Now, the final thing that I want to come on to is whether you can host these locally, okay? So if you have Llama downloaded, which is completely free to download, you can just download it right there, and then you type in DeepSeek R1, this is a massive advantage for DeepSeek R1. So you can just go to your terminal, you can make sure you have Llama 2 running, and then if we open this up, you've now got DeepSeek R1 ready to go with the distilled model, right? So for example, if I say, what model are you? We can just run DeepSeek R1 locally, and you can see here it comes back straight to us. Now that is a massive advantage, let's be honest, because you can run this offline, you can run it locally, you can access this whenever you want, and also, you know, some people are concerned about privacy, so this will probably be a better way to use this. Now, for Qwen 2.5 you can download, but the latest model, aka Qwen 2.5 Max, is not available, right? So you cannot host that locally with a Llama. And ChatGPT is not available locally either, right? And so if you're looking for something local that it's pretty lightweight, because this is quite lightweight running on my laptop. You know, I can do other stuff in the background, have this just running when I need it to. Like, it's really good for that. That is a massive advantage of DeepSeek R1. The other thing as well, if we go to Visual Studio Code, and I'm just showing you this as an example, we can actually use the API from DeepSeek R1 completely for free, right? So if we go to RuCode, right here, I've got a video on it from yesterday. And then if we go to OpenRouter, plug in your OpenRouter API key, right, which you can get from openrouter.ai. And then you can plug in your API keys. You can just grab a new one from this section right here. And then when you plug that into Visual Studio Code with RuCode or Client or whatever you use, you can actually select DeepSeek/DeepSeek-R1 free. This is amazing, because now you get a free API that you can code and build projects with. For example, you can see here we built a snow day calculator website earlier today. We built a to-do list app. Didn't cost us a penny because we were using the free API from DeepSeek. So there's all sorts of amazing stuff you can do with the free API when you pair it with these models like Visual Studio Code. Now, if we go inside the model section here, you can use ChatGPT, but it's using ChatGPT 4.0 latest, which obviously is going to cost you money, right? It's not going to be for free. And then also, if we type in Qwen here, we can get access to Qwen 2.5. There's different models here. You can get a free version of it, so you get Qwen 2.7b for free as well, but you don't get Qwen 2.5 Max for free on the API, right? So if you want a free API, DeepSeek R1 is smashing it. If you want to host it locally, DeepSeek R1 is flying, right? But for most things, for the average Joe, I'm going to say Qwen 2.5 Max does everything you need to, right? Pretty impressive model, great for content creation, HTML, can code games, it's quite fast to respond, it can create images, videos, etc. Pretty good stuff. ChatGPT 01 is super powerful if you're running a business, right? So for example, like the video options, you know, ChatGPT operator, these are like nice to haves if you're running a business and, you know, you're not too fussed about the prices. And DeepSeek R1, great for running locally. So again, Qwen 2.5 Max, for the average person watching this, probably the best model. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to a community of 3,700 AICOs and a free AI course along with 50 free SEO tools and 200 free ChatGPT prompts. Feel free to get that link in the comments and description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, link in the comments and description. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of SEO link building. We'll answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors to link building and 10x your SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients like you can see right here. Feel free to book that in. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye. Windsurf and DeepSeek R1 is absolutely insane. Now, if you want to get access to Windsurf, you can download it directly at codium.com/windsurf. And once you've done that, you'll be able to build these AI agents who can go out and code for you using DeepSeek R1. And one of the best things about Windsurf is that you can actually connect to the internet. So you can connect the coding power of DeepSeek R1 directly to the internet to search in real time. Let me show you exactly what this looks like. So inside here, we're going to open up a new window. Once you've got Windsurf set up, open up a new folder. And then, for example, we've got Windsurf test ready to go there. We're going to open that bad boy up. And then in the right-hand side here, you've got a choice between chatting and writing, right? So chat means you can get some ideas. You can go back and forth a little bit, like ChatGPT, but in the context of this project. And if we switch to writing, we can now use DeepSeek R1 or DeepSeek version 3 for creating and coding our projects. So if we say, just to check it's working, what model are you? And you can see it's using the reasoning thought process right there. It doesn't actually say it's DeepSeek R1. It says I'm a coding assistant developed by Codium, but it is DeepSeek R1. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So over here, you have your chatbot where you can write stuff. And over here, you have your project where you can code stuff. So for example, we say build a SEO cost calculator plus answer FAQs on the page. Then it's going to use a reasoning model from DeepSeek R1 to code that out directly inside this project here. The good thing about using a logic model like R1 is going to step-by-step plan it out. So here's what the structure should look like. Here's the features, etc. And that's already coding the index.html. Now, I'll show you exactly how you can leverage this with Windsurf AI later, because you can connect this to the internet, and there's also a memory feature inside Windsurf as well. On top of that, it can run terminal commands. And additionally, there's a very easy way to host everything that you create and code inside here. So for example, for building apps, websites, tools, you can do all of that directly inside Windsurf. And the other good thing about this is it's all hosted locally. So you can come back to the project, you can reopen the folder inside Windsurf, edit the project, etc. And you're good to go on that. And even if you have no coding experience, you can still do stuff. So you can see here is I've coded it out. Are you ready to run this? And if we click accept, we can see that our SEO cost calculator is available right there. Inside here as well, it will say, if you want to test it out, click on the calculator, and here we go. And that's looking pretty nice, to be fair. It's got the frequently asked questions, which we requested earlier. Design is super nice and sleek. Bear in mind, we created that in one single prompt. We can build out whatever we want. You can select between how many pages you're going to create, plus your target rankings, and how much money that will cost. And literally all we said to build that whole website was build an SEO cost calculator and make it beautiful, right? So simple and easy to do. Now, what happens if you want to host this? So all you do is you right click on the project folder, like you can see. Then from here, you're going to click on reveal in Finder. Now you've got your folder ready to go. And if we open up a new tab, we'll go to Netlify. And netlify.com allows us to quickly host projects. So if we click on add a new site, import an existing project, Netlify drop, grab the folder, drop it in there, and now we've got that ready to go. It's all deployed. Click on preview. We can preview the SEO cost calculator. We've actually got a test domain if you want to share that with people, so you can actually just share that link for any stuff that you've created. And on top of that, if you go down to domain management, add a domain, you can add a custom domain. So it could be like SEO.com or whatever domain you want to host this project on. So simple and easy to do. So once we've done that, now you really understand the basics of this and how it works. We can also, for example, use DeepSeek version 3, which is not a reasoning model, but is much faster for building stuff out. So for example, if you've got a more complex prompt or a bigger project, it's going to be a lot faster to build with DeepSeek version 3. So if we say, for example, 5-page website example, create a 5-page website, blah, blah, blah. Here's the details, here's my brand colors, link out to this page. It's going to start building that out. So it's just much faster to respond. Now, whilst we're waiting for that to load, we can open up a new tab. So you can actually create multiple projects at the same time, code multiple apps. You don't have to just focus on one at a time. So for example, here, if we open up a new folder, then we're going to type in, for example, new folder. We'll call this app examples. hit create, open that up, code with Cascade. That's going to open up a new project. And then again, we can just select which API. So you can have like different APIs running on different projects in the background. We've got different options here. Super simple and easy to do. So let's try something out now. We're going to click on DeepSeek R1. We'll say build a to-do list app. And let's see what we get back. And you can see here how much faster DeepSeek version 3 is when it comes to creating stuff. It's just not going to be as logical. It's not going to be as good at reasoning. So it depends on the complexity of the project that you're building out, how much you're testing it, that sort of thing. But you can see how quickly that built out the index.html file for the project. Switch back to the DeepSeek test. This looks like it's almost ready to go. And if we click on this link, we have the 5-page website we were talking about building earlier, right? So you can click between the different tabs, services, about, home. The calculator page doesn't work, just being 100% honest with you. But we've got the spine of the website, and then we can just go back and forth and edit it as we need to. If we go back to the app section now, it looks like this is almost ready to go. So if we just say, run this so I can open it, that's opened it up now. Let's test this out, figure out DeepSeek, and there we go. We've just built out to-do list app. And any apps that you're paying for, you could just build out with these sort of projects, right? Now, there's a couple of other things to note here. So, for example, if we open up a new window, open up a new project, click on code with Cascade, what we can actually do from here is we can connect this to the internet. So, for example, if I'm like, okay, what's happening lately with AI this week? And you can see it's now searching the web. So it's looking for the latest news, figuring out what's happening, looking at some of the latest details, etc. And it's connected to the internet. If we say, okay, remember my brand colors, add this to my memory, and then we'll put in the brand colors there. It said, I'll add your brand colors to the memory for future references. Let me know if you need anything else. And then it says memory has been updated, and you can actually manage the memory here. So you can, for example, edit like global rules, workspace rules, and you can add different rules inside here. This is super useful because then you don't have to give the same instructions over and over again. If you have a certain writing style, if you, for example, have certain personalizations about you, if you have certain places that you want to send traffic to when you build out these tools, for example, like URLs or landing pages, you can insert that inside the memory of the project. And then it's really easy to just build things out without having to go back and forth on the prompts because it's all personalized to you, right? Just to recap so far, I've shown you how to build websites with multiple pages, to-do list apps, connect to the internet, update the memory, use DeepSeek R1 and DeepSeek version 3 as well. Productive day. And now let's take it a step further. So what we can actually do is we can build some websites out based on the current headlines using DeepSeek, right? So because it's connected to the internet, we can figure out, okay, what's going on today? And then how can we code something off the back of that? So for example, if we say, okay, what happened today in football? It's going to look for the latest football news. Bear in mind, this is not always like 100% up to date, but it does give us some examples. And then we're like, okay, based on the latest transfer rumors, create a beautiful football news website. And then it's going to build out that project based on the latest news because it's connected to the internet. Unlike, for example, something like bold.new, or unlike, for example, something like RuCode, I've made videos on all these projects. These are great, but they're not going to be updated with the latest news. Unlike, for example, DeepSeek version 1 inside Windsurf. Now, if we say to it, okay, now fill out a blog with today's date plus transfer rumors. It knows today's date. Then it's editing the content, inserting it into the index.html, inserting that information it found earlier with the transfer rumor details. And this is just an example for football, but you can customize it to any industry, any niche, etc. And we're getting the project ready to go. And the thing about DeepSeek version 3 versus DeepSeek R1 is it's just so much faster, right? If I had to show you on a sample video like this, I'd be waiting maybe like 30 minutes, 45 minutes to code this all out. I could do it in seconds with DeepSeek version 3 and still get a really good output. Now, if you're not happy with the style, etc., you can just say something like make it more beautiful, and that will just improve the design. So you can see here how it's coding the CSS to make the design of the website much nicer. You can also switch between different APIs, right? So you're not just limited to DeepSeek version 3 or DeepSeek R1. We could use something like Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is really good for coding as well. And to be honest, it depends what you're using this for. So if it's something that requires a lot of thought, you're going to use DeepSeek R1. If you're going for speed, probably DeepSeek version 3. And bear in mind, DeepSeek version 3 is cheaper as well to use. If you're going for the best possible front end, well, you probably go for something like Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So it depends what you want and how you want to do it. And then if we open this up, obviously it's still using the brand colors, which don't quite fit, but we've basically got the blog ready to go with the latest transfer news. It's including information from today, and then you can just build that out more and more. and you got the basis of a website built in literally minutes, along with the latest headlines for that news. And we did it all directly inside Windsurf. Super easy. So we've also covered how to build apps and full-blown websites, as well as connecting to the internet. The other thing that I wanted to show you was how you can build games out. Let's open up a new tab. We'll start coding. We'll change back to DeepSeek R1. We're going to say build an awesome snake game. To be fair, even with DeepSeek R1, it's pretty fast to reply. And look at that. It's already building it out. Like, I've noticed on the website, I think because so many people are using it, it's a lot slower than this. Whereas if you use it inside DeepSeek R1, it seems to be much faster. But I'm sure that varies time to time. So we're building out our snake game here. You can see how it's built out a step-by-step plan as well. And the thing to note here is previously in the past, you need a team. Back in the day, probably like a whole team of coders spent dozens, if not hundreds of hours trying to figure out how to build out Snake. Now you can do it in literally one prompt, even if you have no coding experience. And you don't even need to know what you're doing. You just need to know what you want. Now, if something isn't working as well, you can easily debug it with zero technical expertise. So if we just say, this does not work, mate, and it's trying to figure it out, it's okay, here's what we're going to do, here's how we're going to do it. It's going to run this command, start setting up. And if we set up a new window here, we'll grab the index HTML that's created, and you can see this game is now working, right? I can just work through it, it's debugged it, figured out what to fix, and then it's boom, let's do it. So absolutely amazing stuff. What I've actually done inside my free SEO course, link in the comments description, if you go to the video notes for this article, you'll find 100 different use cases on how to use Windsurf AI for whatever you want. Additionally, you can search in here and you can find whatever you want. So for example, let's say you're searching for AI agents. There's tons of stuff on AI agents right here, as you can see, that you can flick through. This is literally years of work plugged into a free course just to help you. So every single lesson inside here, this lesson comes with tutorials, SOPs, video tutorials, etc. And you can get that for free, link in the comments description. Additionally, you also get access to 3,700 AI SEOs just like you, so an amazing community, a classroom with another free AI course, 50 free tools and 200 free ChatGPT prompts. And if you want a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to book that in. We'll show you how we take both sides from 0 to 145,000 business month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you will get a free SEO domination plan, so you'll get a custom tailored link building plan so you can generate more leads, sales, profits to your website. You'll discover the secrets to SEO link building, we'll answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building and how to stay next to SEO. Perplexity and DeepSeek R1 absolutely insane. So Perplexity is an amazing tool for connecting to the internet and doing research, and they've now launched DeepSeek R1 inside the model. So you can see here, we can do a pro search using reasoning with R1 and reasoning with O1, right? ChatGPT's O1. But today we're going to be looking at reasoning with R1 because it unlocks a huge amount of potential, which I'll be explaining today, and can automate a lot of great processes because you have the power of DeepSeek R1, which is amazing for logic and reasoning, and you also have the power of Perplexity, which is amazing for connecting to the internet, and it's a very powerful research tool. So let me show you exactly how to use this step by step. The first thing we're going to do is make sure that we have selected DeepSeek R1. Now this is free for 3 searches per day. If you have the Pro plan, you can search unlimited using DeepSeek R1 as far as I know. Or if you have the Pro plan, then you can obviously get a lot more searches with DeepSeek R1. But either way, we're going to jump into it now. Credit to Skill Leap AI for giving me the idea for this video. Absolutely amazing channel. Check it out. And now we're going to get straight into this. So make sure that you've clicked try DeepSeek R1. And then from here, we're going to start doing the magic. Now, if you open this up, this is amazing for all sorts of things. So let me show you the first use case of this. So what we can actually do is for creating content outlines, we can say do this and label your section so it's organized properly, right? And then let's say you're writing an article or creating some content around Oxford and SEO. Well, we can ask Perplexity and DeepSeek R1 to give some information about Oxford SEO, information about us, detailed, find some relevant external links, internal links, do all the research we needed, plus find some relevant stats and case studies related to the topic. List it all out in bullet points, don't hallucinate, write it naturally, etc. Right? Then we're going to hit enter like so, and that is now automating the research process using a combination of the pro search inside Perplexity and the reasoning model of R1 inside DeepSeek, okay? So you can see here how it's beginning the analysis. Now this is great because DeepSeek is a logic model, it uses reasoning, and so it's very good for understanding and analyzing different things. And I'll come on to some more powerful processes in a minute. But this just gives you a basic overview of the workflow. Now you can see we're getting the research back and it's unbelievably detailed, right? So it's like Oxford's digital landscape's hyper competitive, and also it's personalized it to me as well. It's also found some relevant external links. So let's click on this one, for example, and you can see here that this is not a hallucinated link, right? So it's actually finding real links from real resources related to the topic. On top of that, it's also found some relevant research right here. So for example, Section 3, stats and case studies, 8.5 billion searches happen on Google every single day. And you have the source right there. So if we click on that, it actually takes us to a reference with all the information about the topic we wanted to find. As you can see, super powerful, right? So basically automated very in-depth research, probably better than most people are going to do for you if you hired a researcher. You've automated all the internal and external links for your content. You found relevant personalized research for the topic that you're talking about. And you found relevant case studies with actual backed up data relevant to the topic. Super powerful stuff. And that is just one single use case. You can also share the research with your team if you're doing this B2B, and also you can see all the resources on the right-hand side here. Now, the great thing as well about DeepSeek's R1 model is that it's much better for reasoning, right? So, for example, it's critically thinking step by step about the whole research process, analyzing what it needs to do, and then it's wrapped up the analysis right here. So let's start another thread now. And again, you want to make sure you have a DeepSeek R1 Pro organized. You can also select the focus here. So you can choose between using this for searches, or using this to find videos, academic research, maths, social, or writing. And I think that DeepSeek R1's model would be most powerful for web searches, academic research, maths as well. It's probably not going to be great for writing content because it's more of a reasoning model, and something like DeepSeek version 3 for that. So let's test this now. We're going to search the web in real time, find me the latest AI headlines from today, plus analyze the trends in the industry. So now you can see it's done the pro search, it's used the reasoning model, and here's the power of the reasoning model, right? For example, pro search is really good for researching, searching, analyzing the trends based on the real-time data from the web. But then you can see with the reasoning model, R1, DeepSeek R1, is better at analyzing stuff, right? So step by step, you can analyze the process, and it's super useful for anyone interested in this to look at each step by step, right? So what's he doing? What's his thought process here? And it basically builds on the previous steps. So then I need to structure the answer with summary, key headlines, trend analysis. It's figured that out based on one single line of prompts that we've given it, right? So the cool thing about this is you don't need to give it like super detailed prompt to get the most out of the model. You can just say, give me the best research possible, and it will figure everything out step by step, as you can see right here, because it's designed to do that. That's the beauty of R1 and its model. So now if we scroll down to the research, for example, the key headline is, of course, DeepSeek's R1 model disrupts global AI markets. And you can see it's analyzed the market impacts. NVIDIA shares fell 13% amid fears of reduced demand for high-end chips, whilst Microsoft, Alphabet, and Meta also saw declines. Also looked at China's AI ambitions to accelerate, and then it scrolled down and has also analyzed the global reactions and industry sentiment. Now, if we scroll down here, and this is super interesting for analyzing like any industry that you're in, right? We're all constantly trying to learn and find more about our industries and trying to stay up to date, but also to see where the future is going. And you can easily use DeepSeek R1 combined with Perplexity to do that, right? So for example, emerging trends in AI is analyzing the trends here as cost efficiency over raw power. So for example, DeepSeek success versus like more cutting edge expensive chips. Open source collaboration, so the fact that R1 has now overtaken ChatGPT in the App Store, but also this is an open source model that you can host locally, etc. And then also the regulatory and ethical focus. And finally down here is looked at market implications, right? So what is expected to happen in the future? And it gives us a final summary. Now that research was just automated in one click, literally took a minute, and it's so incredibly powerful. So now I've said, give me 5 ideas of tools to build based on today's headlines. And I'll come on to that in a minute and exactly why we're using that. But essentially, because of DeepSeek R1's power, it can easily figure out, okay, what are the best tools to create and how can we create them? Now I'm going to upgrade to Pro just to keep using this and to take one for the team and help you. So let's do that quickly. And now we're in the game, as you can see, with Perplexity Pro, and the subscription begins now. Now you can also select inside here the main model that you want to use. So for example, this will change the default model that you want to use for searches. So you can combine other tools with Perplexity directly. So for example, you could use GPT-4o or Claude 3.5 Sonnet for actually researching stuff and combine that with the power of DeepSeek R1. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So if we go inside here, we're now going to select reasoning with R1. We're going to say, okay, find me 5 headlines in SEO today. It's doing the research, and now it's finding the relevant headlines. It's combining the 2 tools that we talked about. Now what we're going to say is, okay, now give me some simple calculator tools I can build as a one-page landing page that don't require live access to the internet based on these headlines. And the reason we're doing this is because DeepSeek R1 is not just good at the research, it's not just good at finding headlines, it's not just good at analyzing market trends, but it's also great at coding and logic, which means that once we've got the ideas for these tools, we can actually build out these tools using DeepSeek R1. So you can see here, now it's actually creating those tools using just HTML, CSS, and JSS only, right? Now, we didn't mention that in the prompt, but it's just gone off and started to create the tools. Why? Because DeepSeek R1 is smart enough to figure out, okay, that's what we need to do. The research method with Perplexity finds relevant calculator tools that can be built, and then R1 is going to analyze them, right? So it's, okay, the user wants 5 simple calculator tools. Here's 5 based on the local SEO headlines. Then it's actually thought through each tool that is built. So for example, like an EAT calculator, parasite SEO risk calculator, a local revenue impact calculator, etc. Now, if we go back to R1 and Perplexity, we're going to say, okay, create a one-page website for the niche. We're just going to change this with one of the ideas it's come up with earlier. So we'll take this one, for example, local ranking revenue impact tool. So bang in that keyword right there. We're going to customize it to us, a business, etc. And then we're going to ask R1 to create this quick website. And you can see it's going through the motions here. So it's, okay, here's what the user wants. Here's what I'm going to do first. Here's what we'll do next, etc. And it's starting to build out the process. Now you can see we're getting back the HTML code. So this will be the page that we've built out for the calculator. And the best thing about this is you can see the CSS is already inside the HTML. So it's a very simple web page that we can quickly check and host in a second. I'll show you exactly how to do that. But essentially, we can find headlines, find emerging tools, find emerging market trends. We can analyze which of those we could create tools around, and then we can actually build out full websites or apps based on all that research previously, right? So it's very actionable. As an example of that, you can see this website we actually built with AI using a similar sort of process that has all these actionable tools you can just start using straight away. Pretty crazy stuff. It's even adding an exit intent pop-up, so when people land on the page, they'll get a pop-up to book in a call with us. And if we take the HTML, so we'll just copy it over there, then we're going to grab that, we'll plug it into this live preview tool, and boom, look at that. The web page is ready to go. It's looking good, and we didn't have to do anything, right? So you can see how easy this is, how it works. If we click on that, it does actually take us to our funnel page. And we just created a website, automated the whole research process, found relevant tools we can create and apps and websites, etc. based on today's trending headlines. And R1 automated the whole code. Now let's actually just check this works. We've got the pop-up in the way. Maybe R1 to just tone that down a bit. But if we check it right here, you can see that the calculator works perfectly, right? Plus it links to all our funnels, plus it's included the emojis, and it's used our brand colors. How long did that take us? 1 minute just to automate? It's so incredibly easy. It's super, super powerful. Now, one final thing that I want to show you is if we select writing over here, so we're going to select writing, and then we'll say an article about SEO and humanize it using R1 so that this bypasses AI detectors 100% of the time, must be 100% non-AI detectable. Normally, I wouldn't write an article like that, but I just want to show you how powerful this process can be. So you can see here that it's done the pro search, and then it's okay with the R1 model, with DeepSeek R1, it's now going to figure out exactly how, with its chain of thought commands, it can create content that bypasses AI detection. So let's see how this works. So we've got the article back from DeepSeek R1, like you can see. We're going to grab and copy that content and see how it performs on the AI detection. Is it AI detectable or not? So open up a new tab. We'll go to 0GPT. We're going to plug that in. And this is a humanized content from DeepSeek R1. It rewrote the whole article from scratch. And if we check it in, it's come out as human written. Look at that. Basically, none of it is flagged as AI detectable because we're using DeepSeek R1's reasoning model, which is really good at thinking things through, using logic and bypassing AI detectors. Crazy stuff. So you can see how powerful this is when you combine the power of Perplexity, which connects to the internet and is amazing at research, with the power of DeepSeek R1, which is amazing at coding, reasoning, logic, etc. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to all the video notes from today, that'll be inside my free course, link in the comments and description. If you log in, then go to SEO systems, then DeepSeek R1 with Perplexity, you'll find the details right there. And also, as a thank you, you'll get access to a community with 3,600 members, as you can see, and you can just ask them for help, right? All of these people inside here are here to help you and here to grow with you because they're interested in AI. Additionally, inside the classroom, you'll find a free extra course on SEO, 50 free ASEO tools, and 200 free ChatGPT AI SEO prompts. On top of that, if you want a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to get that link in the comments description. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot on this free link building acceleration session. You'll get a free SEO domination plan, so that'll be custom tailored so you can generate more leads, sales, and profits from your website. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building. We'll answer any questions you have one-to-one so you can just ask our experts. Any questions you have completely for free on the call. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors in link building. O3 Mini versus DeepSeek R1, which is the best and who wins? We're going to test it out today. First thing we'll do is we'll compare the paper on O3 Mini and the paper from DeepSeek R1. We've actually done a direct comparison inside ChatGPT, so we can see, okay, which one is better? What's the difference? So obviously they're both logic and reasoning models, and O3 Mini and O3 Mini High have just been released hours ago. So what we can see here is how smart are they? And you can see actually, if we compare math skills, DeepSeek R1 is actually beating O3 Mini, which is pretty wild. And that comes from ChatGPT itself. For coding, they're both pretty much equal. General knowledge, pretty much equal, it seems like. Writing and creativity, they're not really designed for. And for speed, it seems like DeepSeek R1 isn't as fast as OpenAI 3. We'll be comparing them to test them out. And you can see there's actually a breakdown here. Now, this is really useful, actually, the way the ChatGPT is presenting it. So you can see for hard math and coding help, you're probably going to use DeepSeek R1. For fast answers and safe responses, O3 Mini. For deep thinking and problem solving, and for a careful rule-following assistant, O3 Mini. That sounds exciting. So, final verdict. DeepSeek R1 is the best for thinking, solving problems, and deep reasoning. We'll compare them in practical examples in a minute. And O3 Mini is coming out best for fast, safe, and structured answers. And that's comparing both white papers using ChatGPT. So let's get into the testing now, and we'll open up DeepSeek. Now, the model that we need to test is DeepSeek R1. We're not going to be testing DeepSeek version 3 because it's all about R1 today. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open up O3 Mini, and we shall also compare O3 Mini High, right? And then we can compare all three models, all three releases, and see which one performs the best. So let's get straight into this bad boy. We'll keep it simple first of all, and then we'll build it up. So I'm going to create a Space Invaders game in HTML. We'll ask DeepSeek R1 first, then we're going to ask O3 Mini, and then we'll ask O3 Mini High. Now, DeepSeek is still having a cheeky think about this. O3 Mini has already coded it, so way before DeepSeek R1, it's definitely winning on speed. And O3 Mini High has already come back to us as well. So it's a speed test. ChatGPT and OpenAI O3 Mini is winning by a long way. Now, whilst we're waiting for DeepSeek R1 to actually come up with the response for this post, what we're going to do now is we're going to take the HTML and we'll just test it out and see how it's performing. So if we copy this, you actually don't get the canvas option inside O3 Mini or O3 Mini High, which means that you can't run the HTML inside ChatGPT, which is a shame, but hopefully that comes in the future. And we'll clear this out and plug in the response. Now, from what I can see, there is no option to actually control the main Space Invaders character, right? It's super buggy. So O3 Mini High might come back to us quickly, but if it's the wrong answer, absolutely no point in doing that, right? Let's check out the HTML from O3 Mini. So this is like the mid version. We'll test this out, see what we got here. That's actually giving us a controllable character. But again, as you can see, I'm controlling the enemies, not the main character. And I can't move around, so it's super buggy as well. So they might come back to you quickly, but if the answer is totally wrong, there's no point, right? O3 Mini and O3 Mini High not doing a great job there. We've still got the HTML coming back from DeepSeek R1. And also just a note here is like, you can run this unlimited times inside DeepSeek R1, ChatGPT O3 Mini and ChatGPT O3 Mini High are paid. And I think to get unlimited like DeepSeek R1, you would have to pay $200 per month. On the Plus plans, you get like 150 messages per day. So I'm going to run the HTML now and see what we got here. And look at that. We're living the dream here, sunshine. We're absolutely living the dream here. DeepSeek R1 has already built something better than Space with Space Invaders versus ChatGPT o3 Mini High and ChatGPT o3 Mini. That has absolutely blown me away because this is free. I can use it an unlimited amount. I can run the HTML inside the chat. I don't have to go to liveweave.com to preview it. And it's giving me a better response than the latest version of ChatGPT, which is supposed to be one of the biggest companies in the world. And as much as I love OpenAI, I love ChatGPT, I love their tools, how can it underperform DeepSeek R1 in coding? Like, it just blows me away. So let's test something else out now. We're going to create a basic website using each model. We'll go to new chat. We will test some reasoning. We'll create a new chat in each just to make it a different context. So we're going to plug this in, and I'm going to say create a beautiful SEO cost calculator website, add emojis plus plenty of details about the tool, FAQs, etc. Brand colors equals this. We'll plug that in, and we shall plug this directly into DeepSeek R1 as well. And let's see what we get back. Now, again, I know the o3 Mini is going to go straight off to the races and give us a very thorough response in a short amount of time. DeepSeek ChatGPT o3 Mini High is beginning to give us the output back as well. And then DeepSeek R1 is having a good old think about it. I mean, honestly, for me, like if I get the right result, I don't mind waiting. But let's test these out anyway. So we'll go into o3 Mini and we have the HTML. That's all one single file, as you could see. So let's copy that. And we have the SEO cost calculator back from ChatGPT o1 Mini. I mean, to be fair, it's done a great job there, right? Plenty of information on the page. It's nicely designed. It's got all the emojis, etc. Let's just test putting these keywords in. So I'm going to put current ranking 10, website age 2, competition level low, number of keywords 10, and that does not work. Wow, that is a really basic task, and it's not worked. All right, let's test out o3 Mini High. Hopefully we get back something better. So I'm going to plug that in, and we'll test this out now. So I'm going to put conversion rate, cost per click, calculate now, and that's worked perfectly, to be fair. Plus, we've got some nice FAQs. So there's definitely a big difference between o3 Mini High and o3 Mini when it comes to generating websites. Let's test out what we've got back from DeepSeek R1. So we'll run the HTML. We'll test this out. We'll just change the number of website pages to 15, content pages 5. I would say the design is pretty much the same on each of these. I wouldn't say any is particularly better for front-end design, but let's see if the calculator works, which it does. Beautiful. All right. So in terms of order and who wins, I'm going to go with ChatGPT o3 Mini High. Then I would say DeepSeek R1 and o3 Mini is right at the bottom, right? So DeepSeek R1 so far is outperformed in both tests ChatGPT o3 Mini, and it's right up there with o3 Mini High. However, the other thing I would say is just for convenience, the fact that you can run the HTML code directly inside the chat here just makes everything 10 times easier. So on to the next one. Let's run new tests now. And what we're going to do from here is we'll just get some AI fluffy content that's obviously AI detectable, right? Now, these AI detectors, take them with a pinch of salt, but I know there's a lot of people who use these AI detectors, and it's always something I get asked for, right? Like, what's the best model for removing AI detection? So if we have a look, for example, at this blog post, it's coming out as 77% AI generated, right? Easily detectable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this content right here, the fluffy content from ChatGPT 4.0, and I'm going to test which one or which multiple models are the best for humanizing the content. So I'm going to say humanize this so it bypasses AI detectors 100% of the time, must be 100% non-AI detectable. Then I've pasted in the fluffy content underneath that comes out at 77% AI detectable without any sort of humanization. So we'll run that through o3 Mini High, then we'll run it through DeepSeek R1, and then we're going to run it through o3 Mini Mid. And now we've already got the content back. I mean, the speed of this is just absolutely amazing. It is great for speed, ChatGPT o3 Mini. So let's plug this content into the AI detector. We'll hit detect text, see what we get back. So just to be very, very clear here, right? So I've asked for generic AI fluffy content. This content, as you saw previously, came out at 77% AI detectable. When we ran it through GPT-3, when we ran it through ChatGPT o3 Mini, it had a good think about it. It's like, right, let's do this. It gave us the content back. We ran it through Zero GPT, and it came out at 82% AI detectable. That is more detectable by AI than the previous version. It's made it more AI detectable, not more humanized. So let's run ChatGPT o3 Mini High through Zero GPT as well. We'll see what we get back. Plug that in. And that is coming out at even more AI detectable. It's 97% AI. Bear in mind, like O1 Mini, which you can't get access to now, but O1 Mini inside ChatGPT would give you 100% non-AI detectable. It would give you 100% humanized content in my previous tests. O3 Mini did a bad job. Let's be honest. It made the humanization percentage go from 77% all the way up to 82%. O3 Mini High took the content that was 77% AI detectable and made it 97% AI detectable. It did the opposite of what we prompted it to do. So hopefully we get something better back from DeepSeek R1 now. So we're going to plug this content in. We'll hit detect text, see what we get back. Look at that. 0% AI detectable. Wow. That is unbelievable. That is really, really unbelievable. Personally, I want O3 Mini to be a great model. Like, I have nothing against ChatGPT. I feel bad doing these tests because I love ChatGPT. I love OpenAI and what they've done and what they've achieved in life. But just to see DeepSeek R1, which is a free model available for anyone, outperforming these multi-billion-dollar companies is blowing my mind today. It shocks me. Genuinely, that DeepSeek R1 is just outperforming everything. And this is before, R3 comes out. Imagine what R3 is going to be like. It's just wild. All right, next up, we're going to test the search functionality. So what we're going to try and do is combine the reasoning model of the AI natively to the search model to see what we get back as well, right? Because if we can connect the web and live information to the reasoning model, then it can be pretty powerful. So what I'm going to say is analyze the market trends in the AI industry based on today's AI news headlines. Important, it must be based on today, not other days, right? I want to focus on the most relevant recent information. We'll highlight search right now inside Mini. We'll do the same in O3 Mini. Make sure we select search here. And then we'll do the same inside DeepSeek R1. And we're going to test the search functionality. So this is gathering the headlines now. O3 Mini's doing that as well. DeepSeek R1 seems to be stuck a little bit. It seems to be thinking a lot there, having a deep think. So we'll see what it comes back with in a minute. And actually, DeepSeek R1 has totally failed. I've noticed this a lot this week. Like, the search functionality has been down, so it says the server is busy. Please try again later. One little get around you can do is you can go over to perplexity.ai, select reasoning with R1, use exactly the same prompt, and it will use DeepSeek reasoning R1. If you're on the pro model, you get quite a lot of searches, if not unlimited. If you're on the free model, I think you get like 3 searches per day, and that's working its magic right there. So let's have a look what we got back from ChatGPT O3 Mini High. Now, bear in mind, the headline did say important, it must be based on today, not other days, right? And if we have a look at this, it's referencing, for example, January the 29th. So that's a bit of a fail, although it's done better than DeepSeek. Reuters has, it's referenced January the 29th there too, 18th of January, 17th of January, 2nd of November. And also if you read that Outlook, it's not really giving us like a proper analysis, right? Like, honestly, if you just watch a YouTube video from today, you're going to get something that gives you a better analysis than what you're getting right there on the overall market outlook. So it says, synthesizing these reports, the current market trend in the AI industry is one of transition. Like, you already knew that. You didn't need one of the most powerful AI models in the world to tell you that. Let's have a look at the response from O3 Mini. So it's still referencing old information, even though we asked it not to. So January the 18th, January the 17th. It's talking about really generic stuff. And I would have thought that one of these models would find like the latest information from DeepSeek, all the craziness that's been happening this week, referencing the information from the last couple of days, etc. Especially if, it's focusing on today's news headlines. Like, for example, if we didn't use AI and we just use, for example, like Google, which does leverage AI, but if we went to the news headlines, we can get today's headlines just by doing that, right? And that gives us a much better output. So it's pretty disappointing in terms of the results from O3 Mini High, and also DeepSeek R1. Let's have a look what we got back from Perplexity. Maybe it's something better. So look at that. Perplexity is probably outperforming everything, especially when you combine it with DeepSeek R1. So it says, the AI industry is undergoing significant shifts as of, and then it actually mentions today's date, which is useful. Then it talks about DeepSeek, which has been the biggest headline from this week and the thing that you would focus on if you were doing an analysis from today. Along with that, it's talking about how Taiwan flagged DeepSeek as a national security threat, along with Italy banning its AI platform from app stores. This is really recent news, right? And the analysis is super, super useful. So out of everything, Perplexity is winning that, especially when you combine that with DeepSeek R1. Game changer. Let's do a final test. So I'm going to say now, build me a snake game in HTML. As always, O3 Mini is ready fastest. So let's copy this, we'll test it out. And that seems to be super buggy. Look at that. It's like flickering all over the place. So for just coding in general, it seems like O3 Mini is not that great. Let's test O3 Mini High. Again, look at that. Super buggy. Like it's just flashing around when I try and move it. Not great at all. DeepSeek R1 is still having a good think about it, a good deep think. That's what we like to see, actually. I don't want a reasoning model that comes back to me too quickly because it doesn't seem like it's thought it out very well. You can't rush greatness, especially a snake game. So we're going to hit run HTML like so, hit start game, and look at that. DeepSeek never lets you down. There we go. Look at that. So as you can see, the snake game, the only AI model that was capable of building the snake game with very simplistic prompts is DeepSeek R1. And so out of all the models, I'm still going to stick with DeepSeek R1. If I need logic, if I need reasoning, etc., I would stick with that model. If you're worried about privacy and all that sort of stuff, I would just install it locally, run it on an offline laptop. O3 Mini High and O3 Mini, they've not blown me away at all. They've let me down a couple of times today in terms of humanization, building out games, building out websites. It works simply enough. And for searching the web and research and using the power of reasoning with research, I would just go with Perplexity plus DeepSeek R1. That is free. And as you saw from today, the results were really good. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to a community of 3,700 people interested in AI and SEO, feel free to get that link in the comments description. You'll get a free AI SEO course, plus 50 free AI SEO tools, plus 200 free ChatGPT AI SEO prompts. Links in the comments description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how to get more leads, traffic, and sales to your website, to grow your business, to get more customers, feel free to get that in. On this link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan. So you'll get a custom tailored link building plan so you can generate more leads, sales, and profits from your website. You'll discover the secrets of SEO link building. We'll answer any questions you have one-to-one. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website, plus how to quickly outrank your competitors link building. Now it's 10x SEO traffic based on what's working for us and our happy clients. Feel free to get that link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching as always. Bye-bye. DeepSeek. Here's how to make $100 a day with DeepSeek AI and how to make money online in 2025. So you can get free access to DeepSeek at deepseek.com, and I'm going to be showing you my best methods to make money that are currently working right now with AI. And the first method that we're going to talk about is exactly how to generate AI avatars. So as an example of this, you can actually leverage DeepSeek to create videos like you can see right here that are 100% AI. So this video right here, you can see I've labeled it, and also you can see here that I'm explaining, seems so lifelike, but it was actually generated completely with AI. Now, the crazy thing about this is that YouTube will actually pay you for entertaining people using AI avatars. So as an example of this, we made 8 in one single day this month using video. Now, if we look at this specific video, I actually made $27 in one single day, and it was all generated with AI. Let me show you exactly how to build these out. First thing that you want to do is create the video directly inside HeyGen. So you can create an AI avatar inside HeyGen, create a landscape video, and I'll show you how to get these step-by-step SOP plus the prompts I use. But basically, you can sign up to HeyGen, create these AI avatars, and for the script writing, you can use DeepSeek. DeepSeek will actually generate the script for you. Now, if you're wondering, okay, how do you come up with a topic? You can ask DeepSeek to give you some AI topics that be related. So, for example, you can say, okay, give me some ideas of topics I can create a video about. I'm in the AI niche. Let's say I'm an AI content creator, and you can do this for whatever you're passionate about. And then you can get a bunch of ideas right here. And then you can say, okay, stop that. Let's take a example video like this. Here we go. How to use ChatGPT for content creation. Generate a video script for this. Obviously, you're going to use better prompts in this. If you actually want to see me create an avatar live, you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom, SOP inside the description, along with a video training right here that shows you exactly how to build these and what prompts I use. But essentially, this is how it can work step by step to generate the video, like you can see right here. Then you can plug that into HeyGen inside your AI avatar. So we'll create a video, avatar video, create a landscape video, plug in the avatar that we've used. So for example, like this guy. And then if you go into the script section, you can just plug this in step by step, right? So you could take the script from here, for example, plug that into the script section, quality control it, improve it step by step. And then once it's done, just submit that. Pretty simple and easy to do. Like I said, all my prompts and SOPs and workflows for this are inside the AI Profit Boardroom. If you want to get access to that, link in the comments and description. But yeah, essentially that's how it works. So that is method number one. And if you're wondering, okay, does that actually work? You can see with this AI avatar video, yes, we made $27 using that method. Now, you might be saying as well, okay, that's great for you, Julian, but you've got a big channel, 152,000 subscribers, right? Of course it's going to work for you. If we actually check my other channels, for example, like this one, we only launched this channel like 63 days ago. It's already monetized, it's already making money, and you can start making money straight away using this process. You don't have to have a massive channel to do this. And so that's one of the easiest and fastest ways. Like within 60 days, you could be making passive income with DeepSeek, and I've just shown you proof that actually works. So let's talk about method number two. Method number two is building out websites like you can see right here that are generated with AI, and then you can make money with ads. So for example, this is cheaperbirds.com, which is this website right here. Most of the content was generated with AI, and you can see the revenue total here. So it's actually made $21,000 so far. And the way that we generated this content was with AI. So for example, if we pull up this article right here, as we scroll through this website, it's completely generated with AI and it's all monetized with ads. So you can see, for example, like ads just pop up on the page. Here's another ad, etc. And when people actually find this website on Google, once we've ranked the content that was created with AI, we can make money. Now, if you want to see exactly how we do that step by step, let me show you. So I'm going to show you the overview of the process and how it works step by step. So step number one is really simple. It's just find keywords that people are searching for on Google. So let's say you have a website about birds that you want to create AI content with. For example, if we go into Google and we have a look what people are searching in, or people are looking for like blackbirds in Thailand, Texas, Florida, Arizona, right? These are all pages we can create on our website, Chipper Birds, that potentially we could rank on Google and then start getting traffic for. As an example of that, I run an SEO agency, and so I want to get customers for my SEO business. As for example, I'll put something like best SEO speakers into Google. I can see people are searching for it. And if we actually search on Google, you can see my article ranking number one right there. This content itself was generated with AI. And the best thing about this is I can control the list. So I can say, okay, Julian Goldie, even though I do say so myself, is the best SEO speaker at the top of the list. And you can find keywords on Google that people are searching for. You can create that content with DeepSeek R1. I'll show you how to do that in a second, and then you can publish it and rank it. Now, if you're wondering, okay, how do you create the content? So this is the example prompt that we normally use. So I'm going to say create an SEO optimized article for that, keyword here, and then you just insert whatever people are searching on Google, for example, like best SEO speakers, include a content outline. So for example, step by step, what should the AI write about? And then for content creation, do this, right? So add some information about you. So for example, normally I'm going to put some source context like this, some information about me, etc., so that the AI knows to write specifically for me, my brand, and what I sell. And then we're going to say easy to read, UK grammar, FAQs, headers, subheaders, keyword in the first line, first person, and just make it really nice and easy to read. Now, if you take this content and then plug that into DeepSeek with this prompt, I'm not going to select DeepSeek R1. I'm going to focus on using DeepSeek version 3 because DeepSeek version 3 is better for writing. DeepSeek R1 is better for thinking. And so if we put that topic into the prompt, so we can start generating the content for our article that we can publish. And now you can see we've got a nicely written article ready to go. We can publish that. We can quality control it, edit it before publishing, and then publish that bad boy to our website. And it's really simple and easy to create. Plus you can do it for free with DeepSeek. Plus it actually ranks as I've already shown you today. All right. So we've got that content ready to go. It's all been updated. It actually reads better than most human writers that I've hired. And also it's included links to our funnel. So for example, if we go on this page, you can see that it's linked directly to our funnel page where we want to attract clients. Super easy, powerful to do. It's also optimized the content for the keywords so that we're more likely to get ranked on Google. Really easy and simple to do. Now, not only do you make money with revenue as well from ads, but here's a little bonus tip for you. For example, if we type in the keyword that we're trying to rank for on Google, and we scroll down, not only will your blog content rank if you optimize it in the right way, which is what I'm trying to show you today, but also your video content can rank from step one, right? And so if you combine the video content with the SEO content, you can rank twice in Google and not just get traffic from Google, but also from YouTube. And additionally, you'll rank inside AI search engines, right? So you can actually optimize this content to rank inside AI. As an example of that, if we open up Perplexity, we search like OpenAI O3 Mini, and then you can see 2 of my videos right here ranking with YouTube. Super easy and powerful to do. And so you get more traffic equals more attention equals more money from the ads, from any affiliate links you insert in. And also, if you're trying to get customers for your main business, then you can generate more customers this way as well. And not only do you rank inside Google, YouTube, but also inside AI. And that video right there was only created. And here's the other thing to know, right? So these videos, for example, like this one, this is the one that was created with my AI avatar, right? How crazy is that? So I can leverage the power of AI, not just to create videos, not just to generate content, but also to rank inside other AI search engines. And that content is actually better than the old videos I used to create on my YouTube channel. Plus, like I showed you before, you can create these channels and get them monetized within 60 days. Crazy stuff. Next up, another powerful way to get more attention and therefore more customers, especially if you're running a business or if you have a course to sell, maybe you're trying to sell a book, a course, coaching program, maybe you have a service. In whatever way you're trying to grow your business and get more customers, if you use Instagram in the right way, you can get a lot of attention and therefore reach a lot of people. As an example of that, we actually go onto Instagram here. You can see, for example, this short that I created just 2 days ago already got 1 million views and 33,700 likes, right? Now, you can leverage DeepSeek to actually create these. So the way that I do these is inside, if I start a new chat over here inside DeepSeek, I can say, for example, create a YouTube short script about DeepSeek versus ChatGPT. If you actually want to see the scripts that I use, I'll include them inside the SOPs from today. But basically, this will quickly create a short script that I can read out for my videos that I post on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and everywhere else. It's super easy and powerful to do. And like I've shown you, these videos get millions of views. Now, if you can get millions of views on Instagram, then even if 1% of those converted, how much more money would you make? And you can easily create the script directly with DeepSeek. And if you combine this with the video avatar method that I was talking about earlier, you can actually create shorts inside HeyGen as well, and then generate more customers that way as well. All right, so just to recap, we've talked about making money with video avatars, and I've shown you proof of that making money. We've talked about creating website content, then ranking it with SEO, and I've shown you proof that also makes money. I've also shown you proof that we get millions of users using the shorts Instagram method and how powerful they could be just using DeepSeek. Now, let me show you something else that's crazy. So what we also do on Twitter is we take that video content that we generated with the avatar and we post that to Twitter, right? And you can see here, for example, like some days we reach 5 million people in one single day using these videos. Now, if you repost that content to Twitter, you can generate more traffic to your funnels. For example, here, click on this. So for example, when people visit my profile, they're going to see all these links to my funnels. If you get more traffic to our funnels, we make more money. And so all we're doing is literally reposting the content from our videos, like you can see right here, creating the actual post with AI, and you can use DeepSeek to create those Twitter threads. And then you can post the videos online as well that way. As an example of that, you can see right here that our video about Quen 2.5 Max that was created using our video avatar actually got 20,000 views. Now, if 20,000 more people knew about your business, what you sell, would you make more money? Absolutely. And especially if it's the right audience, which is what we do with targeted content. So for example, for us, we sell SEO and AI related services. And then you can see that we get a lot of traffic around AI and SEO related content. And so using this process, all you do is you just repost the videos from your video avatar to X, to LinkedIn, etc. And then you ask DeepSeek to come up with the content for the post. So for example, if you're like, okay, now create a short tweet promoting the short, all right? And you can see it's just written that. We can post that to Twitter, boom shakalaka, we're good to go on that. The final method that I want to show you is how you can sell AI-related services online. So for example, on Upwork.com, we've made over $1 million across all our profiles, and all we're doing is selling services. Now, loads of people are selling AI services on Upwork. So for example, you can see a bunch of people here selling AI-related services. You can be an AI consultant, you can be a chatbot developer, AI content creator, etc. And you can do all of that stuff. And because you already know how to create short scripts, video avatars, how to generate Twitter content, and how all of these methods can make you and other businesses more money, as you learn that stuff and as you practice and implement it, you can sell that as a service online, right? And there are so many high quality clients on platforms like Upwork that you can sell a service to. And so if there's a starving crowd of people interested in AI and you're one of the few people watching this channel and actually understanding exactly how to make money from it, then don't you think that would be valuable to other businesses? Absolutely. And so that's how you can sell in agents, selling AI automations, automating different workflows for businesses who don't want a lot of employees but do want to scale faster, right? These are all things that you can sell. So thanks so much for watching. I've actually shown you now 5 different ways to make money with DeepSeek with proof they all work. So for example, videos, creating websites, Instagram, content creation on other platforms like X, and also selling AI services with proof that they all work. Now, if you want to get access to the step-by-step SOPs, prompts, tutorials, etc. that I've shown you today, then you can find that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments and description. There's an SOP section right there, along with an AI automation crash course to show you exactly what's working for me right now. And we'll be releasing new courses every single month. Plus, this is going to be an awesome community of people just like you interested in AI, scaling the business and making more money with AI. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. And if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to get that. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. This is completely free. And on this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan. So you'll get a custom tailored link building plan so you can generate more lead sales and profits from your website. You will discover the secrets of SEO link building. We'll answer any questions you have one-to-one, so you can ask our world-class experts anything about any questions, problems, or challenges you have. You'll learn the best link building strategy for your website. Today, I'm going to show you how to build agents with DeepSeek, and anyone can do this. Now, let me show you exactly how to get started. So first place you're going to go is to na10.io, and this is one of the most powerful platforms. You can actually get a bunch of templates, plus it integrates with almost every single app that you would want to connect an AI agent to. And leveraging the power of DeepSeek, you can create some very powerful automations. So we're going to sign in now and I'll show you exactly how to get this set up. So once you've logged in, then you're going to go to create workflow. And from here, you can start building out your agents. So you can automate almost anything you can imagine. Now, for example, if we want to create something really simple, we can click on add a first step. And then from here, we can type in chat. We can set up a chat trigger that basically triggers a whole lot using AI agents and just a simple chat command. So once we've set up that beginning of the workflow, you can see how this begins everything that comes afterwards. So we can say when a new chat message is received, for example, and then we're going to connect the next step, which is an AI agent. So we're going to type in AI agent here, and this will connect an AI agent to our whole workflow. Now inside here, you can have a system message, or you can just go with the default. We can go with just your helpful assistant, but I'll show you exactly how powerful this is in a second. And then once you've done that, you can now set up a chat model to connect this to whatever you want. So this is how we make it actually free. What you can actually do is if you sign up to console.grok.com and then you go to /keys, you can create an API key here. So this is available completely for free, GROQ. And then in the chat model section here, you would add a new connection with the Grok chat model like you can see. Now this is going to connect whatever sort of AI you want, and this is completely free. So we can select, for example, DeepSeek Llama. This is a distilled version of the DeepSeek AI. See, it's faster typically when you use models, but you still get the power of it. So once you've connected that, you've now got your AI agent very basic way set up and ready to go. So for example, if we go to chat over here and we say, are you working? You can see that's worked perfectly, right? And if we say, what model are you? You can see it says, I'm DeepSeek R1, an AI assistant created exclusively by the Chinese company DeepSeek. I'll do my best to help you. So if we hide that, we've now got a completely free AI agent using the API from Grok NA10. Now, NA10 also comes with a free 2-week trial. So for 2 weeks, you don't have to pay for this. And then if you think it's worth it, you can build it out if you want to. I actually think it's a very powerful automation and one of the best platforms I've used. I'll show you why in a second, because you can actually funnel information from other apps and then use that to build out whatever you want. So for example, we can connect our Gmail here. If we type in Gmail, we'll connect Gmail, we'll click on get many messages. I'm just going to limit this to 5 just for the sake of the video to keep it simple and easy. This will take the latest 5 emails from my Gmail account, as you can see right here. Right? And if you ever want to test it out, you can click test step here. The reason that you would have this before your workflow starts is because you want to feed in the information to the AI agent first and then use that for the outputs, right? We'll start a new chat. We'll get the information from Gmail. We'll run that for our AI agent. For example, if I go into DeepSeek now, using this automation, and I say, okay, so for example, inside the email section now, we've got the inputs from Gmail, as you can see, and then we can plug in, for example, the details from our latest emails, as you can see right here. And then over here, if we select source for prompt, and it says define below, and we'll plug in the information from the latest emails pulled in. And now you can see that it's written the email reply right there, right? Using the free API from DeepSeek R1 via Grok. As for example, if we say, okay, check my latest emails, that's going to run the automation. So you can see that's taken the chat message, has organized the workflow, then it's taken the messages from Gmail. Now it's beginning to answer the emails like you can see. And you've got your email draft right down there. So fast and easy to do. And literally we just set up an AI agent that can answer our emails. Now, if we add a new section here called action in app, then we put in Gmail and then we'll say reply to a message, we can actually take the outputs and then plug them into here and actually write our emails. And then your AI agent can answer emails too. If you want to delete a step, you can click delete like that. What you can also do over here is you can select tools and you can connect this to other tools. Here's another example, right? So let's say now that you've figured out, okay, this is how we build our simple AI agent. Let's start building out and connecting it to some apps. So for example here, what we're doing is we can ask this AI agent connected to DeepSeek R1 to answer our messages and then output those to WordPress. You can see here, for example, this AI agent is connected to our WordPress account. It's going to create a post. You can change your title based on the outputs if you want to. And then also it's going to take the content from the AI agent previously, right? So if we go inside the chat now, and we say write an article about SEO, you can see that it's working its magic. Then it's sending it over to WordPress. And now we've got the output, right? And then you can see on WordPress, it's created that article as a draft, right? So it's not publishing it live to our website. And one of the issues that I would say here is that it's written it in Markdown. So you want to give the instruction to the agent instead that it should write in HTML there. And so next time we run this automation, you can iteratively improve it. And every time you run it, you get more feedback on what to improve. And then you can tweak the dials until you get the exact output that you want. So as an example of that, let's run this again. We'll say keyword equals SEO training Japan, create an article on it. Then it's going to run the AI agent and send that over to WordPress. So if we refresh WordPress again now, we'll have another draft. And basically you can just go through the motion of like looking at it, checking what you've got, improving it step by step. So if we have a look now we've got a nicely formatted article, as you can see, and we completely automated that just giving the chatbot our keyword, right? Now, I really prefer this to using something like make.com because it's a lot easier to go back and forth inside the chat. And you also get a lot more freedom over which tools you use and what you connect it to, etc. as well. So you can use other automation software like Zapier, make.com, etc. But honestly, I think for building out AI agents, N8N is the best from what I've seen so far. Now, you've got the basics of the prompt, right? This is super basic. And the thing about this is you really want to tweak the dials until you get exactly what you want. So let me show you an example of that. So what I'm actually going to do is I will take this prompt and plug it into the system message. And we'll say for creating content, do this. And keyword equals, I'll give you that. Content outline equals, for content creation, do this. Then I'm going to add some source context. So this will be information about me. So for example, who I am, what I do, etc. Some links to my funnels. And then also some writing instructions, right? So easy to read, UK grammar, add FAQs, etc. Simplify the language, blah, blah, blah. Right? Get the content exactly how you want it and how you want it written. So now if we go to write an article on the best SEO training, it's going to start running the automation. And bear in mind, Grok, you don't pay for. N8N, you get a free trial of. And even if you're paying for N8N, it's free cheap a month. And then if we go back into our draft post now, we can compare the old version versus the new version, right? So this is the last version previous to tweaking the prompt. This is a new version. So let's have a look and see what we got. So for example, if we look at this one, it's like in today's digital age, search engine optimization has become a crucial skill for business marketers in Japan, right? Super generic, fluffy content. Even though it's nicely formatted and everything like that, it's just really generic. It's not personalized to us. It's not linking to our funnels or anything like that. If we go on to the newer version where we just added the prompt into the AI agent, it feels a lot more humanized because we gave it the right prompt. So we're like, right, let me guess. You're here because you're tired of throwing money at SEO courses that promise the world but deliver nothing. You're overwhelmed with options and just want something that actually works, right? The content on this page is just so much more humanized and better written than the content from the generic fluff. And so the more precise you get on the prompts and the more prompting you give it, the better results you're going to get. And you can see here at the bottom, it's linked to our funnel pages because we insert those inside the prompt as well, right? And so very quickly, you can build out a SaaS tool that's almost better than anything out there because it's personalized to you, your business, and you can do it in minutes using these sorts of workflows and building out free and leveraging even the free APIs from Grok. Now, for writing content, honestly, I wouldn't say that DeepSeek R1 is the best. You might prefer to use something like Llama. I've tested Llama in the past. It's really good for writing content. But I just want to give you an idea of the freedom that you get from using these AI agents, right? As an example of that as well, what we can do, for example, is we can connect to Google Sheet over here before the information gets fed into the AI agent. Now, you might be wondering, okay, why would you do that? Well, because now you can take information from a spreadsheet, feed that to the AI agent, and then it can tailor its responses based on that information, right? So it can work through a spreadsheet with a list of keywords, for example, or something like that. So if we go into Google Sheets here, you can connect Google Sheets, and then you can select a document from our Google Drive that we want to use. We can select a specific sheet, and we can also filter through the sheet as well. Also, you're not just limited to, for example, using Grok. So inside the tool section here, so if you go to chat model and then go to the model, you can select between all sorts of different models that you want to use, right? So for example, we could select OpenAI, many different models. You can even, for example, plug in a free API from Google Studio and plug that into your automation too, which is another free API you can get using something like, for example, Flash 2.0 thinking. Now, if you want access to the JSON files from the agents that I'm building today, then I'll actually include that inside the Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments in the description below, and you'll find it inside the SOP section. So if you want all my AI agents from today, you can get that inside the SOPs. Plus, if you need any help, you could just DM me and ask me for help. Now, what you can also do is you can take, for example, like this template. So this is an AI agent, and it's basically like a Google Calendar assistant. Now, it says OpenAI, but you can easily switch that to DeepSeek R1. So if you click on Use Workflow, and then from here, you would import the template to your workspace. Now, once you've done that, you're going to see something like this, right? And so let me show you how this works. So it's another chatbot, and you can actually link this to Telegram. I've got other videos on YouTube about how I did that. But basically, this node is the entry point of the workflow, and you can also embed the chat interface wherever you want as well. But once the chat message is received, then it's going to go over to the tools agent. All right, so this is your calendar agent. So it takes a message, goes to the calendar AI agent, and then you can see that this will take the AI will run this. Then it's going to get the events from your Google Calendar. So for example, you can say, give me the events from last week about internal processes, and then it will look through your actual calendar, which is crazy. Now, also what you can do is you can say, okay, can you create an event, quarter revenue meeting on date, for example, hour to hour, and you can ask it to create events as well as look through your current events, since like a personal assistant that would manage your calendar for you. So let me show you an example of this. So if we click on chat over here, and then we'll say, okay, give me the latest events that are happening today. Now you can see it's triggering through the nodes, and it's okay, please clarify the time you consider. And I'll just say just for today. Now it's looking through the calendar, getting the events, running it through ChatGPT. And again, I'll show you how to connect this to DeepSeek in a second. And now we have all the information, right? So here are your latest events scheduled for today, Tuesday, the 4th of February. We've got the details. This is one-to-one call breakdown. Here's the time, here's the location, here's how to join the meeting. And it just breaks down all the events you got booked in for today. And so there's so much you can do with this, so many different options, and the only limit is really your own creativity. Now, if you want to connect this to DeepSeek, let me show you exactly how to do that. So if you want to delete the model, you just click delete. So then we can click on chat model over here, drag that down, find Grok on the chat model list. Inside the model list over here, we're going to type in DeepSeek R1 distilled llama. And then I'll say again, give me the details of my calendar today. All right, it's running it through. That was super fast to reply. That's the other benefit of using, for example, Grok and DeepSeek R1. And you can see, okay, it's breaking it down. Here's the time, here's all the events for the day, etc. Super easy and powerful. Now, what you can also do using this is you can create events. Now, when you're setting up these nodes, you obviously need to link them to your own calendar. Now, if you want to do that, you just double click on this, and you can see, for example, the description is like, use this Google Calendar tool when you're asked to create an event. And you can select all your calendars, right? So if you have access to multiple people's calendars, then you'll actually find them on the drop-down list right here. And then it also says, here's the start date, here's the endpoint, etc. And for example, if we wanted to create an event inside our calendar, for me at juliangoldy.com, we can go back in here. We can say a calendar event for tomorrow for lunch at Mackie D's. I don't eat McDonald's, by the way, and don't recommend it. But add a calendar event for tomorrow for lunch at Mackie D's for 1 hour, 12 p.m. And you can actually have separate calendars linked. So it can look through this calendar and then create an event over in that calendar, if that makes sense. And you can say, okay, here are the details for your new event. It's broken it down. So event title, start date, end date, description. And then we'll say yes. And it's powered by Grok and DeepSeek R1, like you can see. And then if we go over to our calendar, you can see that we got lunch at Mackie D's ready to go right there. And it says, here's a confirmation of your new calendar event. The event has been successfully created. Let me know if you need any further adjustments. So just inside the chat there, it's so easy to now to manage your calendar, to create content, automate any sort of workflows, to link this to multiple apps, whatever you want to do. And using the templates feature is super easy and fast to do. And then using the API from Grok, you're not getting charged every time you run this automation. Now, what you can also do inside the chat trigger is you can embed this to your website. So you see over here, you can select between make chat publicly available, like you can see, then you can customize the initial message and you'll get a chat URL. And we just need to make sure the workflow is active as well. And then if we go back to the chat node and then we click on chat URL, this will be published. Now it's very important to make sure that you do have this chat URL set as public, otherwise you can't use the agent and share the URL publicly. And also you can select between allowed origins, right? So which domains are allowed to use this. Now you might be wondering, okay, that's great that you get it on a subdomain, but how do you actually embed it on URL? So you can see, for example, we've got the chat embedded on an example page right here. Here's the code, and you basically just paste in the chat URL. So as you can see, and then if we start chatting with this, we're like, okay, what's happening in my calendar today? And obviously you wouldn't have this publicly available, but you can see, okay, what's going on. And then this agent can fetch your calendar details, whatever you want. And you could have a content creator, you could create whatever you want and then embed the chat. It could be, for example, like a customer service agent that can handle stuff for you. But basically it's very easy to make this chat publicly available, then make sure the workflow is active, and then you just plug in the URL from here directly into this code right here. Super powerful stuff, and you can build whatever you want using these processes. So I've shown you how to create basic chat agents, how to create chat bots, how to embed chat bots, how to do all of this with the free API from Grok, how to automate and connect AI agents to WordPress, Gmail, to your calendar, any app that you can imagine, and how to do this in minutes as well. Now, I will unpublish this workflow, obviously because it's got confidential information in there, but what we're going to do is we shall download all of the workflows from today, all right? And if you go to the AI Profit Boardroom and then go inside the SAP section, you will find the AI agents along with the example code right there inside the community. And this also comes with like weekly calls with me, so feel free to jump on right there. Link in the comments description to the AI Profit Boardroom. Additionally, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to put that in. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 business a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot on this free link building acceleration session. You'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of SEO link building, or answer any questions you have. Today, I want to show you how to automate anything for free using DeepSeek. So, first place you're going to start is with grok.com, Grok.com, and then you're going to navigate to the dev console because you can see here, DeepSeek R1 distilled Llama 70B is now available and you can get a completely free API. Once you've done that, you're going to navigate to the APIs key section and you're going to create an API key. And this is what you're going to leverage. It's very simple and powerful to automate basically anything that you want. And I'll show you exactly how to set it up in a second, but just to be very clear here, this is free. You are not paying for this API, which is amazing. And you get access to DeepSeek. Amazing. All right. So once you've done that, then you're going to go over to make.com, and make.com is also free for 1,000 operations per month. Unless you are absolutely rinsing make.com, that means that this is also free for you to automate anything that you like using DeepSeek. Pretty powerful stuff. So Grok is free for the API. Make.com is free for the automations. Let's get it crack-a-lacking now. And we're going to log in. And once you've logged in, you're going to navigate to create a new scenario, right? This is a section where you can link any sort of apps that you want. Now, just to show you how to link DeepSeek directly, all you're going to do is you're going to click on the plus sign. Then you're going to search for Grok, Grok, click on create a chat completion. You're going to make sure that you connect your API key. So to do that, you just select my Grok connection and the API key. And then from here, you can select whatever model you want. So for example, if we type in DeepSeek R1 distilled Llama 70B is available. Now, you might be wondering, okay, what is a distilled model? A distilled model is it's still a version of DeepSeek R1, but it's built on top of Llama 70B. And that also means it runs a lot faster than the API from DeepSeek. DeepSeek's R1 API is very, very slow when it's replying to you, whereas using this method is a lot faster. Additionally, you also get access to all these other models, including Llama 3.2, which is redonkulously fast, along with Gemma, for example, Wisp for Large, blah, blah, blah. All right, so we're going to plug in DeepSeek right here. And then from here, we're going to select a message, right? So just to check this is working, we could put something like, okay, are you working? So just reply to me with 2 + 2. Then we're going to hit save. And just to test this is working, we'll link it to some apps in a second. But if you want to test this is working, the API, etc., just click run once. That's going to run. You can see that's working right now. We've got the results, right? So we can see here that the model is DeepSeek R1 Distilled Llama. And then if you click on the choices and then message, you can see right here that it's written and answered the solution step by step. Pretty simple and easy to do. Now let's actually make it useful. So what we're going to do over here is we're going to add a new module. We're going to click on the plus sign. Then we're going to click on Google Sheets. Then from here, we shall select Watch New Rows. And we can just select a spreadsheet from our Google Drive, right? So inside the Google Connection section here, you would add a new connection with your details. You can just sign in with Google. Pretty simple and easy to do. Then you can search through your Google Drive and find a relevant spreadsheet. So I'm going to take a spreadsheet with a bunch of keywords that I use for SEO. Then I'm going to select the relevant tab with my keywords. It's going to look through the whole table, all the rows with the headers, and you can limit this. You can say, okay, just run once, right? Run once for one single keyword, one single row in our spreadsheet. Now, if you want to see what the spreadsheet looks like, here's an example, right? So you can see all these pages that we've created and using the keywords and some automation. And so we can choose where to run this manually. So we can say, okay, get a keyword from the sheet. So we'll say like Newark SEO. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drag that over here and we're going to connect them up, right? And this is a linear workflow, which is really simple and easy to work out. And you can just go from Google Sheet, take the keyword, send it over to Grok, and then we're going to send this over to WordPress, right? We're going to publish this. Now, if you have a Shopify website, you can also connect this to Shopify, I believe, as well. Webflow as well, if you're using Webflow. So, if you wanted to create content, blog content on your website, using a spreadsheet with a list of keywords, this is a really easy way to do it. Obviously, you quality control before you publish, but you can see how easy it is to automate with DeepSeek R1. So from here, we're going to select WordPress now, and we're going to say create a post. I'm going to connect this to one of my websites. When you're doing this, just make sure that you do actually select create a post, right? So you'll see on the options here, it says get a tag, get a post, get a user. You don't want any of those, right? So click on WordPress here and then select create a post, and you'll have a lot more options. So we'll click on create a post now. Then we're going to select juliangoldie.com, the one and only. That's going to take a second or so to load. But basically, once it's set up, we can plug in all the options from the original choices. So for example, I can take the keyword from this spreadsheet right here and plug that in as the title. Then for the content, I can take the outputs from Grok. All right, so if I click on choices over here, click on message, content, there we go. All right, we'll just delete that and we'll select message content. For the type, we'll select as a post because I want to take the keywords from the spreadsheet and plug them in as blog posts. The slug can be the keyword, so that's like the actual page URL. And I'm just showing you this because now you know how to map everything out if you're using this for whatever automations you're using and you understand the logic behind it, right? You understand why I'm doing this, which is the most important thing. And then also draft, we don't want to create any spammy content. We want to quality control it before we publish it. And then basically what we've got is like a DeepSeek auto blogger that can just generate blogs on autopilot with the keywords that we create, right? And if we wanted to, if we were feeling really crazy, we could change the limit as 100 and then generate 100 blog posts at once using our list of keywords. Now, inside the Grok section here, what we need to do is feed in the keyword from stage 1. So we'll put keyword equals, and then we'll plug that in. And then from here, I'm going to add a bunch of other prompts, right? So you can see here, for example, we're going to say word count equals, don't say anything like this, output in HTML. You can see all the details, including our sitemap, right? So we want this blog post link internally to other pages on our website. Just make sure it's all nicely connected, etc. Now, if we have a look through here, let's just double check the settings on WordPress, make sure we're feeding in the right outputs. We should be good to go on that, right? Now, one thing you want to do before you publish is just check there are no errors. So you see in the content section that has an error. So we're just going to fill that missing output in. So we should be good to go on that. All right. And then you got to test this out. So it's not always going to work first time, but there's going to be certain things that you haven't thought about properly when you're doing this. So we're just going to run an example here and we will click run once and see what happens next. All right. So it's taking the keyword from Google Sheets. Now it's running the content through Grok using our free API, which is pretty amazing. And then we're sending it over to WordPress, right? And you're basically creating your own sort of SaaS tool, personalized to you, automating using DeepSeek, and then creating whatever content you want. So I'll show you a bunch of other automations in a second that you can set up, but I wanted to show you this one in depth so that you understand how to set it up and how to figure it out. So if we go over to our website now, we're just going to log in over at juliangoldie.com. Then we're going to go over to posts. And then if we click on preview over here, we can see the content that was created, right? So look at that. So we've got the keyword as a title from our spreadsheet. Then if we scroll down, we've got the introduction. We've got the content written. It's all nicely formatted. We've got some bullet points, etc. We also have some relevant internal links, right? So it's figured out the anchor text, how to link internally from one page to another, and that is working beautifully. And none of this costs us a penny, right? Because make.com is free, the API from Grok is free, and this is just good to go, right? Obviously, you would quality control it before you publish it, but you would have to do that with any type of content you produce, not just AI. And so we've got that ready to go. Now, what you can also do is at the bottom here, you can select every 15 minutes. And what that'll do is that will check your spreadsheet every 15 minutes to say, is there a new keyword in there? If so, let's run the automation. If not, let's wait until there is a new keyword in there to run that automation, right? And so this can just run an autopilot, and then it will check every 15 minutes, send any new keywords through the automation. You don't have to log in. And DeepSeek is just doing the work for you. Right. And by the way, if you want the blueprint from today, what I'm actually going to do is I'll plug that into the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. If you go to the S&P section, you will find all the automations from today inside there. This also comes with weekly calls with me, plus a community you can ask anyone for questions. So let's keep going through now. That was incredibly easy. No problems at all. Bear in mind, the main DeepSeek API, I've heard people complaining that it doesn't work so well, it's quite slow, etc. Using the Grok one with DeepSeek integrated is just so easy. Now what we can do is create a Telegram bot with Grok loaded inside. All right, so this is originally for ChatGPT, but we can change it to DeepSeek. So I'm going to add in a new module here. We're going to take Grok. The beautiful thing as well is once you've set up Grok and the automation right there, the connection is already set up. You don't need to find the API key again. You can just find DeepSeek off the list, add in your message, and it's pretty simple and easy to do. All right, so we're going to delete that extra module there. We've got Grok inserted right here. If we click on auto align, we can just clean this up and we can zoom out a little bit. And then if we click on the Telegram bot, we can just set up a new webhook and create a connection between make.com and Telegram. Again, this is free. Why would you want to do this? Because you can create your own AI assistant that runs not directly through Make, but it's like a chat bot you can open up in Telegram whenever you want. So what you want to do here is get a token from Telegram. So Telegram is free. You just sign up right there. And then you're going to go to the bot father. So telegram.me/bot father. And then we're going to type in new bot into the message chat. Now we can come up with a name for it. So for example, if we put assistant, and just bear in mind, you have to put bot at the end to make sure that it's not a name that's already taken. Then from there, obviously you're going to get an access token. I'm not going to show that on this video, but I will plug that into Make. So if I scroll down right here, the access token is in the chat. Then you can just plug in your token into Telegram connection, like you can see. That's connected right now. Happy days. We're going to hit save. We'll save that again. And now we've connected the Telegram bot to Grok, and then we'll get the outputs into Telegram as well, right? So basically, this is how you have a conversation using AI for free, and you can customize the prompts inside Grok so that it's custom tailored to whatever bot you want, right? And then the great thing about this is, number one, you can chat on Telegram. You don't have to go inside Make every time. Number two, it's completely customized to what you want. And number three, you could have this on your phone or whatever and just access Telegram when you want. So let's test it out now. We're going to go to the SEO assistant. But before we do that, we just have to set the Telegram connection up over here. And then for the text, we're going to take the result from Grok in part 2, right? So that's what the text is going to come out. For the message ID, we've got the message ID that we can map right there. All right, so on the last section right here, this is the way you want to set it up. So we've got the Telebot, my Telegram bot connection. Then the chat ID is going to be message from ID, right? We've just taken from step 1. Step 2 is choices from Grok. And then step number 3, message ID is a message from ID. If you're not sure how to get that, all you do is you go down here and then inside the Telegram bot section, go to message and then click on from and then ID. And that's the ID of the chat. So it knows which chat to respond to. And then that's basically it. And so if we hit save, so we can save the automation as we go along as well. And then we can click run once. We're just going to wait for new data, which means that it's going to work based on our current chat. So if we go into the SEO assistant chat like so, and we say, are you working right now? You can see how fast it replies, right? It's super quick and easy to use. As I write, I'm here to help. How can I assist you today? You've got the thinking bit right here, and then you've got the how to assist. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go back a second and then make sure this is switched on. And basically what this means is that anytime we want to use the Telegram bot, we can come back to it, we can bookmark it, we can just program it exactly how we want it. So if we go back to AI assistant right here, and we say, okay, what's the best SEO keyword for an SEO agency in Manchester? It'll come back to us and say, okay, the user is asking for this, blah, blah, blah. And says the best SEO keyword for an agency in Manchester would be SEO agency Manchester. Very simple example, but you can see how easy it is to build like Telegram bots using this process. And then they can handle, for example, like customer service, or it can be your own personal assistant in your Telegram, etc. So if we ask it another question now, you can see that the automation is just running on autopilot now. If you want even faster responses, you can actually just switch to one of these. So let's say, for example, like Llama 3.2 preview, we'll hit save. And then if we go back to the AI assistant and we say, what's the date today? You can see that it just replies instantly. So we send the message here and it comes back here. Just be careful because sometimes like this does seem to switch off if you make any edits. So you just need to make sure this is always switched on inside the scenario section of make. Let's just double check it. Yeah. So we put, are you on? And you can see, okay, it's come back to us there with the responses. And also if you use Llama 3.2, like I was showing you before, it will cut out all the long thinking mode section there. So you can just cut out all the thinking responses and just get the answer straight away. So if I say, can you help me do SEO? So I'd be happy to help with SEO. Okay, what specific areas do you need help with? And then if we say, okay, link building, it's okay, best backlinks to build for an SEO site in the pets niche, and it just comes back to us straight away, right? It's absolutely rapid. And then we've got this ready to set up whenever we need it. We're good to go on that. And that literally took 1 minute, plus all the responses are completely free. Again, if you want any of the automations from today, I'll put those inside the AI Profit Boardroom. And then if you want to import those from the AI Profit Boardroom, just go into may.com, import blueprint, boom, you're ready to go. And then what you can also do inside this section here is that you would attach knowledge, personalization to you. So for example, let's say you're bringing someone on board, right, who's just started with the business and you want to train them up really quickly. Well, you could attach all your training modules inside here. And then anytime your team member has a question, they don't need to come to you unless it's really urgent. They can just learn and have a much faster positive feedback loop when it comes to onboarding using the knowledge here. So there's all sorts of amazing things you could do with that. And then as well, you could create a custom GPT or that sort of thing. But the problem is like you're locked in to ChatGPT, whereas this, it's inside Telegram, it's yours. You can come back to it when you need to, and you can share it with other people, and you're not locked into a ChatGPT subscription or anything. The final one that I wanted to show you was the email virtual assistant. So this was previously done with OpenRouter. Now you can also, with OpenRouter as well, which you can get access to at openrouter.ai. And then you can grab a free API key directly inside there. You can actually link this to another free version of DeepSeek, right? So you can see here, DeepSeek R1 distilled llama 70B free. And there's a bunch of other APIs in here, which is pretty amazing. So if we click on that, we can take the information from our email account, hit save, and that's going to take the emails that come from my Gmail, put them through DeepSeek. DeepSeek's going to answer them, create a draft, and we're good to go on that. So let's test this out and run it. See, so it's taking the email, it's plugging it through DeepSeek and send it over to Gmail, and we've got the draft inside our Gmail. For this sort of automation, honestly, I prefer using NA10, but you get the idea of the workflow, how it works step by step, etc. And it's really easy to get set up. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to get a free SEO strategy session, feel free to get that link in the comments and description. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 business a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free link building acceleration session, you'll get a free SEO domination plan, discover the secrets of SEO link building, or answer any questions about SEO that you have one-to-one. You learn the best link building strategy to grow your website and get more traffic, and you'll learn how to quickly outrank your competitors with link building based on what's working for us and our happy clients, like you can see right here. If you want to get access to all the automations, the SOPs, weekly calls with me, etc., then feel free to get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. All the SOPs are waiting for you directly inside here, along with 12 more. So you'll get the blueprints from today, plus the SOPs, plus a bunch of other automations so you can implement. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.